Next on the Moments of Grace podcast, Dr. Butler speaks with Kanisher Caldwell, who is campaigning for State Representative District Number 65 in the great state of Arkansas.
This is your host, Dr. Adrian Butler, and welcome to A Moment of Grace. You know, every 4 to 6 years, in some communities, 2 years, there's elections that are going on. And I'm a proponent of politics. I'm a proponent. In fact, my daughter asked me last night, is that all I watch was politics? Because I'm very infused in this democracy. What does democracy stand for? I'm a veteran. I believe in the Constitution to defend this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And I believe, not just as an African American, but because I am American, I believe in the right to vote. I believe in the righteousness of voting, that the voting is people's rights as well as people died for this opportunity. My guest today is running for District Representative 65 in Arkansas. We have a distinct connection in that generations before us, we came out of the same bloodline. And so I am so proud to have my cousin with me today, Kanisher Caldwell. And so she's going to share with us some things about why she's going to be a candidate, why she's running, and why her platform is going to be so great. Kanisher, welcome to Moments of Grace.
Thank you. It is a pleasure. It is an honor. First of all, you are my first official interview, and I did that on purpose.
Really?
I held out other interviews. I have interviews scheduled from here on out, but I thought it would be nothing greater than to make sure that I give the first interview to my blood, to my family, to a supporter, a staunch veteran for the US of A. Some people say, we don't like the US, we don't like that, but to me, there's no greater place to live. God put us here to be change agents, and I'm excited about it.
Totally agree with you. And so I'm honored myself that this is your first personal interview on your trail, on your campaign. I'm so honored. I'm bubbling up, got the goosebumps on me right now. So it's great because Arkansas is one of we're in all 50 states, but Arkansas is right up there with probably the fourth or fifth listening audience we have. So definitely your constituents that you're trying to gain will be listening to this. But I know you because I've known you your whole life. Your mom and me grew up, and myself grew up together. But share with the audience who you are.
Well, I am Kanisher Caldwell. I am born and raised in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, in a little bit of community called Packingtown. I am the proud granddaughter of the late Betty Jean LaGrone and Theodis LaGrone Sr. And my mom is Beverly Wooten, and my dad is Bernard Wooten Sr. I'd be amiss not to mention I'm married to Morris Caldwell for 21 years, and I have a daughter that's 19 years old. And who am I? I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I am a sister, a daughter, but by career choice, I'm an advocate for the millions of individuals in this world, in the country, that need a provider who cares. I'm a nurse practitioner.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
And so that's who I am for as a career. But I always tell people it's my career, but it's also my ministry. It takes a very special individual to provide compassion, to provide care to everyone who needs it. And so that's who I am.
Oh, wonderful. Well, like I said, for the people that this is their first time meeting you, and I'm sure for those who will be voting for you will not be their last time. Let me share some things that I know about my cousin. First of all, like she said, she is a nurse practitioner, and everything that I've known about you has been about service. You know, whether it's in your church, whether serving at the side of your husband, your child, serving your community. And in order, how did that transition from being a nurse practitioner wanting to transition into politics? How did that occur? Give me the organic way that occurred.
So people always ask me, like, how did you decide to jump into politics? Well, the truth of the matter is, I've always been involved in politics. My grandmother, even your mother, Maxine,
Right.
when we were younger, and who's my cousin, she took great care of us, by the way. Best cheesecake, hands down.
Oh,
I've never had
yes.
another one to touch it with a graham cracker crust. I
Yes,
still
ma'am.
have the recipe, but it does not taste the same.
I
But
got you.
anyway, when I was younger, probably about 8 years old, because that's kind of what I remember, that age frame, I began registering people to vote with my grandmother for a program that's long lost, but it was very, very necessary for our community, and that was Acorn.
Yes, I
I
remember.
remember signing
Mhm.
people up with my grandmother, to registering them to vote for Acorn. As time progressed throughout my lifespan, I became a member of the Youth City Council for Pine Bluff
Wow.
back in 1997, 1998. So I was an older person then. As I grew older, I continued to serve. My heart has always been to serve. Um, I formulated a program back in like 2013, maybe 2013 through like 2015, and it was called Save Our City. It was simply a program that I used. It was a response. Let me first say that it was a response to what was going on in our community. So we hear so many people say, well, Pine Bluff is crime bluff, Pine Bluff is this, Pine Bluff is that. And so I always stop them and say, hey, look, there's great things that come out of Pine Bluff. I am one of them, right? And so then I go back and I build upon that to educate them about my city, the growth that we've seen, although, we've had some blight go on, the growth of our city, and the people, the richness of our culture, and the individuals that's in there makes us well, over the wealth that we expect just monetarily. There is a culture there that makes us wealthy. The next thing is, so then I developed Save Our City. What I did was I gathered kids from all over the city. And I know one of the saving graces when I was growing up was my grandmother. My grandmother used to put together mass choirs, and we would
Right.
travel
That's right.
Sunday, 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 Sunday.
You're
Like
right.
some Sundays we had 3 and 4 programs. And so that's what we would do. We would go to those programs. So I thought to myself, if that was able to keep me out of trouble then it's also able to, help me right now. And so that's kind of like where we are, what got the Save Our City choir going. And so after we did the choir, I thought about it and I was like, I just can't do this, because it was during Christmas time. They were caroling, and that was basically it. We did the caroling, and then that was over. And so then I began to think, and I thought, if we pair the kids with people in the community, with what the kids think they want to do as a career, then we can mentor them and possibly help them choose careers that will help them become productive citizens, financially
Mhm.
stable, and be able to take care of their families. So myself and Kendria Hayes and some other people contributed, and we paired 42 kids with 42 different people in the community who did those different things, whether it was nursing,
Right.
whether it
Right.
was welding, whether it was doctors, whether it was dentists. We actually stepped out and start putting those people, those children, with individuals who could help them. That program went on for about 2 years.
Wow.
It was successful for about 2 years.
How was it
Then
received?
there was, huh?
How was the program received throughout the
It
city?
was received very, very well. The
Wonderful.
problem that we ran into was, first of all, I did it just as service to my community. So I
You
never
saw the
made it a
need.
501c3.
Right.
And
Right.
so we didn't have the funding. And of course, sometimes people get a little bit weary and they wanted to begin to get paid and just didn't
Gotcha.
have the avenue or the timing to go forth and move it a little bit further. However, we did not leave those kids on the streets, right?
Right.
Pine Bluff began the summer payday camps and things like that. So we began to transition those kids into those programs. Today, they're very successful. I have 3 or 4 of them who are actually nurses.
Wow.
That came under the tutelage of myself. I have 2 or 3 that's like dentists, and so many more that are just productive citizens within Pine Bluff and other areas. Because sometimes people do move away, and
Right.
several of them have moved away.
Oh, that is so awesome. That is awesome. I'm so proud of you. But you're that kind of person. So you have a first of all an effective smile, and you're very personable. And I know that you're driven because to take on that kind of heavy lifting in the community, especially when you don't necessarily have the power in a community to make that kind of impact, says a lot about you. What I like to do, Kanisha, is to take a few minutes, kind of pay some bills, as they say, and then we're going to come back and still continue our conversation. Okay?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are talking with my cousin, Kanisher
Indeed.
Caldwell, and she is running for representative of District 65 in Arkansas. And as you can see, she loves to serve. And to be honest with you guys, God does not put in our Constitution did not put our leaders in place to lord over us. They are there, as it says, to represent us, to be lawmakers, to be there, to be stalwarts of the Constitution and help us. And so when we come back, we're going to continue my conversation with my cousin here on Moments of Grace podcast, Kanisher Caldwell. We'll be right back after these messages.
The latest book by Dr. A. Jerome Butler is here. Queen or Concubine: Being Worthy of Your Crown is one of the best books written by this prolific author and teacher. Dr. Tabitha Russell, CEO and founder of Inside Inspired Women Global, home of the Breakthrough Millionaires Academy, said, Dr. Butler's unique perspective on this issue is both enlightening and thought-provoking. He empowers women to strive for their purpose, to be queens rather than concubines. And Dr. Janet Bishop Nesbitt, certified life, wellness, grief coach, educator, speaker, and veteran, said about this book, God engineered you to be a masterpiece, to be phenomenal, and to be a queen. This book reveals biblically sound principles and other references that will unleash the greatness God has planted inside of you, equipping you with God's word to encourage and strengthen you along the way, to be worthy of your crown. You can order this life-changing book at www.drajrbutler.com. Again, you can order this life-changing book at www.drajrbutler.com, and remember, you are truly worthy of your crown.
Hello. Did you know that there is 500,000 people that are unsheltered tonight? This includes women, children, and our nation's veterans. Several years ago, the Grace Project was born to combat this growing problem. It is a ministry that builds and refurbishes homes for the unhoused families. It is a program to help families transition into home ownership. To find out more about the Grace Project, you can go to the website at www.graceproject.info. If you would like to donate or volunteer, you can sign up or give on the site. We are a 501c3, so anything that you give is tax exempt. Thank you in advance from the Grace Project.
And so, as a business owner, as a entrepreneur, former pastor, man who I feel God called me to be, Mark tells us that the poor will be with us always. My family and I have taken on this responsibility, this huge responsibility. Over 600,000 Americans tonight will be constituted as homeless. And the Grace Project, which you just heard in that commercial, the Grace Project is our ministry. It's what we're called to do. I can remember a story one time that there were millions of starfish that had been washed up to sea. And this young boy was throwing starfish back into the water. And this man came up and asked him what he was doing. He said, well, I'm throwing starfish back into the sea. And the gentleman said, there's too many of them, that you're wasting your time. The young man picked up one starfish, threw it back in the water, and said, if it doesn't matter to anyone but that one, then that's enough. And so even though there are 600,000 homeless, for every home that we give away, every home that we impact, every family we impact, it matters to that one. And so if it matters to that one or the hundreds that we're trying to help, then we're making a difference. And the young lady that's here with us today is here in this country. She's in her community to make a difference. I want to welcome back my cousin, Kanisher Caldwell, back to Moments of Grace. Welcome back, Kanisher.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So before we went on break, we were talking about this great transition that you've made from nursing and healthcare into politics. Share a little bit more with us about that transition.
So that was the backstory. Let me bring you forward, okay?
Okay.
So bringing you forward, I was fortunate enough to work in the front lines or on the front lines of COVID. I think COVID surfaced March of 2020. By April 2020, I was out in the streets, New York, Texas, California. I had the opportunity to work at 13 different facilities, taking care of COVID patients. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, we're going to stop right there for a minute. Share with us that experience, because like you said, with that many facilities all over the world that you had your hands in, not a lot of us had an opportunity to see that. Share with us a little on that.
It is unimaginable. I tell people all the time, and this will transition into my issues as well, but I tell people all the time, there was no worse feeling than experiencing someone die, knowing that it's a part of your ministry where your hands are an extension of his healing power to your patients every time you touch them. But to experience that many people die day in and day out. I actually left the bedside as a nurse practitioner and went in as an RN so that I can have hands-on with those patients. It was absolutely devastating. To hold that phone and pray that transition for that family was easy, because I was standing there with them. I was able to pray them through their transition. But it left a lot of scars. It left a lot of scarring for nurses, left a lot of scarring for CNAs, even the housekeepers and the physicians. It was felt the mass. I don't know how to put it into words what we felt, but it was not a good feeling. And when I came home, I was actually burned out. I actually did about 22 months of caring for others in some capacity with COVID, and it was horrific. As a matter of fact, today I suffer from what's called PTSD. I can hear an ambulance, because when I worked as an NP, I worked in the ER.
Okay.
And so I would hear the ambulance, and your mind automatically processes, this is what we need to do.
Right.
This is X, this is Y, and this is Z, right?
Go into triage mode.
Yeah, well,
primarily.
Yeah, emergency care, yeah.
Right.
And so typically when those people came in on the ambulance, they were critical.
Right.
They were very critical, and we knew that we would have to put in the work in order for them to survive and get them to the next unit to be taken care of. And so in my head at night, sometimes if I hear the ambulance, I run a full code in my sleep. My husband says I tell them what medicines to pull, what to push, what settings I want on different things. And so that is what led to one of my issues that I cover as a candidate. The issues that I'm running on, or that I'm passionate about. I like that better than running on, because I don't care whether elected or not.
Right.
These are passions of mine that I'm going to continue to work for. Right. One of them is mental health and parity. And people be like, what does that have to do with mental health? people don't know that depression is a part of mental health.
That's right.
You know, we hear the big ones: schizophrenia, bipolar, anxiety, depression. All of that is a part of your mental health, even PTSD. And I'm sure by you being a soldier or veteran, you know people who actually suffer from PTSD. And I decided, I was praying and I was saying, Lord, you have to deliver my mindset from this. You have to deliver me from this. And it was simply just this, be the change agent that you need. Be the change agent that the other nurses will need to be able to go to the doctor and be able to receive care. Because I'm going to tell you how this typically works. As a practitioner, I'm an independent practitioner. I own my own clinic. And so billing is an issue for me when it comes down to charging Medicare, Medicaid, as well as commercial insurance. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as a practitioner, they don't recognize me as being a full authority practitioner. And so I only get a percentage of what MDs get when they're providing care. That's the first thing. So let's just say someone comes in for a heart attack, for hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, those type of things. The government was saying this is just for the use of round numbers, okay? These are not actual numbers. But let's say they come in and I charge them $100. The government pays me $85 for that. And that's good. But if they come in and they're suffering from schizophrenia, bipolar, major depression, things like that, schizoaffective disorder, defiance disorder, things like that, guess what? And I charge them $100. The insurance says, well, that's all in their head.
Right.
We're going to give you $60 for that.
Right.
And so what we need to do is even the playing field, because my insurance should not be allowed to cover your neck down, right? Because if you think about it, you have to have dental insurance.
Right.
You have to have optometry. You have to get hearing. Your eyesight, your hearing, everything above your head requires a different insurance. That's not fair. It's not fair. We should be treated holistically. And so that's kind of like my platform. And then when Governor Beebe was in office, or maybe it was Hutchinson, and don't quote me on that. I need to get that right. I don't want to put out white lies on that.
We understand.
But one of those governors recently gave us 4 mental health facilities. This is factual. All 4 of those mental health facilities are above Central Arkansas, right? The Delta is in need of facilities that will house individuals who encounter the police and need mental health instead of sitting in jail, right? We need those places.
Right.
We need a place so that they're able to go reset on their medicines and then be able to go back into the community. And so mental health imperative is one of the issues. And that resulted from working in COVID for so many, for so many months that I saw a need. There was a need there. And so that's one of the issues that I'm going to tackle. Wonderful. Getting us a facility below Central Arkansas for people within the Delta.
Oh, that would be wonderful. There are so many issues, and let me say this right now, because I know in the Bible, I think it was Philip that asked the question, "Can anything good come out of Nazareth?" And so I'm going to say right now, great things come out of Pine Bluff. I came out of Pine Bluff, and we still have businesses still connected with Pine Bluff, and also our ministry has 2 houses that we're doing in Pine Bluff. Arkansas may have been left behind by certain elements, but the people are still worth it. So regardless of what anybody else thinks, my cousin is here. She's going to make a difference. She's going to make a difference. We're already claiming that she's going to be elected. So she's going to make a difference. Kanisher, we only have a few more minutes here. Share with us some 1 or 2 anecdotes that you see that you're bringing out of your platform to help the people of the Delta.
Ooh, 1 or 2. Let's see.
I know it's many. I know it's many.
I think when you approach running for an office, you always feel, or let me speak for myself. I can't say what you always feel because I don't know many people who actually go for this. So I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I felt not qualified, right? I felt that, well, how do I make a difference, right? I don't live a squeaky clean life. I have, never, I don't think any of us have never
That's right.
sinned. I know none of us have never
That's
sinned.
right. That's right.
But what you get from me is a compassionate individual who truly cares about the welfare, the well-being, the holistic being of people here, right here in Pine Bluff. And so that's one of the antidotes you get. The next thing you get is a fighter. I am a warrior.
That's
I
right.
believe in fighting for what is right. I'm always going to stand for what is right, even if it causes me to be pushed aside. I always have been taught that when you stand for right, there's nothing wrong that can happen to you. And so that's what I stand on. So you get a compassionate person and you get a warrior, you get an individual who truly cares about the welfare of our people. And so that's kind of what you get from me when I'm elected, because I'm
There
going to
you
get
go.
elected.
We've already claimed
I'm
it.
going to get elected. Yeah.
Yeah, we've already claimed it. So
Right.
I know that one thing I know is the dynamic in politics has got to change. It has to change, and we need people that not only, like I said, want to uh, want people and policy over politics and party.
I tell people
That's
that
what I'm
all the
always
time.
looking for. Yeah,
I
that's what
tell
I'm
people
looking
that all
for.
the time because I've done the work without a title.
Right, exactly.
I've done it without a title.
Right.
Although I'm going to win, if something happenstance happen, I'm going to continue to do the work without a title. The title just enhances it, gives us a little bit more leverage to be able to know the dynamics of what's going on, to put things into place, and to give measurable outcomes. And so that's what I'm running, putting people, not politics, first. If we learn to do that, I think that we
Yes.
can make some vital changes here in Pine Bluff.
There you go. I'm going to say this, and I don't know where I stand in the strata of people giving, and I'm not done. All the way, I understood one thing about politics, because is our community, and I'm this is my show, so I'm going to say what I'm going to say. All right, our community does not do well at giving it to politicians and to issues. We want change, but we don't want to donate for those changes. We will donate to Walmart to pull out a pair of sneakers, or we'll donate to Gucci to get that bag. But when it comes to things that really affect our community and affect our lives, we do not give. We just do not. We've got to change that dynamic. When we have somebody that's running that we know can be a change agent, because that's what we need. We need change agents. We're going to have to support their campaigns. I want you guys to hear me very closely. I want to give you something that just doesn't make sense to me, but it's the God's honest truth. We know that Michael Bloomberg, when he ran for president, keep in mind, there are 380 million people plus in America. That man spent $1 billion. He could have given $3 million to every single American for what he spent to lose, primarily to lose. So now, if we get behind people as Christians, and we get behind people that support this podcast, and we get behind them, if it's nothing but $1, $10, or whatever, maybe you don't get that Gucci this month, you'll get it next month or whatever. If we can donate to support the candidates who will support what we believe in, that's why we are sending them in to be our representatives. I'm not through, cuz I'm letting you know I'm not through. There are 2 or 3 other candidates I'm also supporting there in Pine Bluff. I support candidates in my community. I don't have a lot of money, but what I do have is a lot of faith. And the word of God says, faith without works is dead.
Dead.
Part of the work that we're going to have to do is not just support with our mouths and our feet. We're going to have to support with our finance. With that said, cuz, how do people give to your campaign?
So
Or
our
how can
main
they
way
get
of
in
giving,
contact with you to give to you?
well, the main way to get in contact with me is through to give is through Act Blue. You could go to Act Blue which is a political campaign donation website. And it's Act Blue, and type in my name, Kanisher Caldwell, State Representative District 65, and you're able to give that way. The other way to give is simply give us a call and say, hey, we can't figure out that Act Blue, but maybe you could get with us that way. And our number is 501-218-1898. And I'm going to do that again, 501-218-1898. We also have KanisherCaldwell.com, which launches today at 2:00 Central Time.
Awesome.
We had a little bit of glitch on there. We're also on all social media platforms. Kanisher Wooten-Caldwell, and that's Kanisher, and then Wooten, Wooten, and then my last name is Caldwell, Caldwell.
Wonderful, wonderful. And everything will be in the show notes as well. Everything that she said, you'll see it on the screen here, the phone numbers and all, but you will also have it in the show notes where you can get in contact with her. Guys, we need fighters for us. We need people who understand the issues that we have in our communities. And when I say community, I mean the communities we're in. It has nothing to do with color, race, or anything else. It has to do with condition. When we talk about a community, we're talking about a community's condition. And so she's here to be a fighter for you in the community that you're in, no matter what the condition. Kanisher, thank you again for being here with us here on Moments of Grace. We'll have to get you back after you're elected.
Absolutely.
We'll have to get you back.
I'm going to bring you a special guest next time. Next time, I'm going to bring you Vivian Flowers.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm going to bring you with her, and I'm going to tell you real quick. I know we have to go. I'm going to give you a quick explanation of that. Vivian actually holds this seat that I'm in right now. She is the current representative for District 65. She's not at term limits or anything. Vivian saw the state of our city, knew that she could take what she learned as a representative, bring it back to our city, and build upon that. So next time I'm back, because I'm praying she's elected as our mayor as well, next time I'm back, I'm going to give you two for one, Vivian and Kanisher. Yeah, so that we're building relationships, right? We're able to collaborate. We're able to work together. We don't always agree,
right?
But that's the beauty of being able to work as a team to better this city. She has an awesome platform, awesome outview plan for the city of Pine Bluff. So next time I'm back, I'm bringing her with me.
Sounds good. That sounds great to me. Well, cuz, thank you so much for being here with us. It has been such a pleasure to have you. And she's going to be back. Give us a couple of weeks to get everything rolled up before the election. She's going to come back, and she's already committed to have a guest with her. But thank you so much, cuz, for being here with us.
Thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate your watchers. Thank you for watching.
Amen. Amen. Guys, once again, there's a few things that must happen in life. We've got to pay our bills. We've got to breathe and live. And if you're in America, one of the processes you don't have to participate in, but I encourage people to participate in, is voting. If you're a voter, now one thing that I do, this is me now, if you don't vote, I don't allow you to talk about politics around me, because it is your right. So many people have given their lives for you to have that opportunity to vote. And not only that, when God sends us someone that can assist us in what's going on in our community, we need to take advantage. And I truly believe my cousin is one of those stalwarts that's going to do that. And with that said, so happy that you've been here with us here on Moments of Grace. As we always say, continue to love God, love life, and keep the light on. We'll see you next time here on Moments of Grace. Take care.